In this Stargate episode, SG-1's mission takes on an unexpected turn when they encounter an enigmatic alien race with extraordinary abilities. What starts as a routine operation becomes a mind-bending adventure, challenging everything they know about power, survival, and peace. The episode begins in the Stargate command room, where General Hammond is providing a thorough briefing to the SG-1 team regarding the upcoming mission on the planet P3C. The Secretary of Defense, David Swift, is dissatisfied with the team for not bringing the latest technologies from the 19 worlds they've visited so far. He tells them the President and the Joint Chief expected them to bring back superior technologies from these worlds. The team members disliked his comments as they consider themselves explorers, who are not supposed to get back any technologies. But the Secretary of Defense condemns their attitude, asking them to do it so they may fight against the Goa'uld ships with help of that technology. At this, Teal'c tells them about a strange creature that can appear and disappear at its will. Samantha tells them that the creature can help them fight against the Goa'uld. O'Neill seconds her idea, considering it a mission for them. The team departs to the designated planet. As they venture through the Stargate, they find themselves transported to Gaia, which is a planet of incredible beauty. Lush forests stretch as far as the eye can see, creating a peaceful and quiet atmosphere. Amidst the lush greenery and towering trees, a sense of serenity pervades the air. When planning to look for the creature, they suddenly notice the Stargate has disappeared behind them. They are surprised, as this has never happened before. Then, O'Neill asks Samantha and Teal'c to go in one direction, while he leaves for another direction with Daniel, who suddenly points out a mysterious creature moving in the trees. O'Neill takes out his tranquilizer gun and aims at the creature, but before he can fire, someone else fires first. O'Neill is agitated and talks to Teal'c, thinking he might have taken a shot. However, Teal'c tells him it was not from him. O'Neill suddenly notices Apophis with his men searching for the same creature. O'Neill and Daniel go to Teal'c and Samantha to inform them about Apophis. Daniel suggests they go after Apophis and capture him, as he's the only one who knows where Shari and Skara is. However, Samantha disagrees with him. She says they are not ready for an attack and don't have any weapons except tranquilizer guns. At this, Daniel suggests using tranquilizer guns to knock him out and then taking him with them to the holding cell, where he will be without his guards and technology. He will have no choice but to tell them about the Goa'uld's technology. O'Neill asks for Teal'c and Samantha's opinion about Daniel's suggestion. Teal'c agrees, telling him he has his staff gun, which he may use. Samantha says they should plan an attack very carefully if they're going to capture him. Apophis is seen looking for the creature with his men. Suddenly, one of his men notices a footprint on the ground. At once, the SG-1 team attacks them with their guns, but Apophis remains fearless. His men responds in time and fights bravely against the team. O'Neill fires at Apophis, but he quickly uses his protective shield and remains harmless. He fires at O'Neill, who is shot down at once. He shoots Samantha and Daniel too, while Teal'c keeps fighting against him. He fires multiple times at Apophis, but he remains unaffected due to his protective shield. Apophis and Teal'c come face to face, where Teal'c declares, "Tal, Shaka, male, I die free," but disappears as Apophis moves to fire upon him, which leaves Apophis himself deeply shocked. He looks around and is surprised to see all of the dead bodies have disappeared too. O'Neill, Daniel, and Samantha find themselves in a peculiar location that resembles a barn. At first, they think they're dead and in heaven, but soon they realize they're alive. They're surprised and cannot understand what just happened to them. Soon, two weirdly looking beings enter, and everyone is surprised to see them. They are the Nox, which is a remarkable civilization of serene and enlightened beings that has restored their existence. O'Neill, Daniel, and Samantha greet them, introducing themselves. Samantha asks about Teal'c, but they don't reply and leave. Then, they come out and feel happy to see the surroundings of the village. They follow the Nox, who take them to Antaeus, who offers them fruit. They take the fruit and find it sweet. O'Neill asks a little boy, Nafreu, about their weapons, but he doesn't respond and leaves. Suddenly, Teal'c appears, and O'Neill asks him what happened there. Teal'c tells him he cannot explain it to him. Then, Nafreu goes to Samantha, who feels happy to see him and tells him her name. On the other hand, Apophis is enraged at his men for not finding Teal'c. Later, the Nox cook food and offers it to them. While eating, they talk about the Stargate and their weapons. Antaeus tells them they can lead them to the Stargate, but their guns are gone now. The team is surprised to find they have learned the language too quickly. Then, the Teal tells them about Apophis, who is an evil character and their enemy. They tell them they want to capture him and take him to their world to stop him from his evil doings. Teal'c tells the Nox they are in a great danger now, as Apophis will try to locate them and cause them harm. O'Neill asks Antaeus how they saved them, and he tells them they did so in their own ways, and leaves. After that, a little girl, Laia, tells them about a Jaffa guard they want to revive, just like them. She takes them inside the barn, where they see the guard lying dead. Teal'c's eyes widen with recognition as he is Shaka, one of the Jaffa he had once trained with while serving the Goa'uld. Then, the team tells the Nox about the Goa'uld, who is a parasitic race and kills people for their own purpose. They talk about the strange creature, Fenrir, whom they want to capture. O'Neill asks Antaeus about the oldest one in the community, who they could talk to, and he tells them it's Ofer. He is one of the oldest of the Nox. Teal'c tells his team that Shaka served in his command when he was first prime of Apophis. Now, they can't leave Shaka there, as he will be dangerous for them. Teal'c also tells them Apophis will not allow them to leave this world alive, saying, "You have challenged him, and I have betrayed him. Even if we were to locate the Stargate, leaving this world will be difficult." O'Neill asks Teal'c to check on Shaka, as he won't be getting up in a perfect mood. Teal'c leaves to obey his command. Apophis gets enraged with his men for not finding and killing Teal'c, who was standing just before him, waiting to pay the price for his betrayal. He then asks about the SG-1 members who died and disappeared. He thinks the team has learned the powers of the beast. He also asks about Shaka, who disappeared after his death. Laia reaches Shaka to revive him. Teal'c, standing beside him, asks about the reason for tying up Shaka so tightly. She tells him he would have escaped if he hadn't been tied so tightly. When she leaves, Shaka awakens and asks Teal'c whether he has come to kill him. Teal'c tells him he is here to give him a chance to join them, as the Goa'uld are not gods, but Shaka is not convinced and refuses to leave them. He is determined to kill Teal'c and present his head to Apophis. At this, Teal'c tells him the time of Apophis will end soon, and he will get all the Jaffa free from him. But Shaka will not be alive to see this. O'Neill and his team are preparing bows and arrows to counter Apophis. Daniel asks him how they can fight with Apophis with these bows and arrows when Apophis has got firepower and his shield. O'Neill tells him any weapon is better than no weapon when it comes to survival. Later, Nefreu reaches out and asks them about their weapons. Then, O'Neill demonstrates to him how a bow and arrow works. Nefreu asks them why they want to fight, and O'Neill tells him they don't like it, but their enemy forces them to do so. Then, O'Neill finds the Fenrir over him and asks Nefreu to run away. He aims at the Fenrir and shoots an arrow towards it, causing it to disappear. Daniel asks Ofer if they can get their medicine to revive the dead from the forest, but he doesn't tell him anything. Daniel insists on answering his questions, but he doesn't reveal the secrets of their medicine. Daniel tells him they want to learn much from them and befriend them too. He then asks him about his age, and he reveals he's 432 years old according to Earth's calendar. Daniel is stunned to know this. Antaeus appears before O'Neill and tells him he can't teach Nefreu their ways. O'Neill is surprised to see his sudden appearance and asks for the reasoning. The man tells him they have power to appear and disappear at their will, just like the Fenrir. He condemns O'Neill for trying to harm the Fenrir. O'Neill tells him he did so just to save Nefreu, otherwise he has no plan to kill the Fenrir. Antaeus tells him the Goa'uld can't harm and enslave them as they know how to protect themselves. Daniel tells O'Neill that Ofer is 432 years old. They think that the Nox are not human, but humanoid. They are more advanced than anything that has ever evolved on Earth. Again, O'Neill asks the team to take Shaka with them, but Antaeus suddenly appears again, only to tell them they will not allow them to do so. They assure Antaeus that Shaka won't be hurt, and they will take him to their planet only to save him from the Goa'uld. But Antaeus is not convinced. On the other side, Apophis is enraged with one of his men for not finding the Stargate, and orders him to find Teal'c now, once again. Teal'c offers Shaka a last chance to join them, but he refuses again. In a cunning move, he pretends to be injured, catching the attention of Laia. With a swift and deadly strike, he ends Laia's life after stabbing Teal'c. As the Nox commences the healing ceremony to bring Laia back to life, the SG-1 team and Shaka look at them from afar. Laia is revived and Antaeus tells the team they brought them back the same way. Then, the team leaves to find Shaka and sees his footprints on the way. During this intense moment, the Nox child, Nefreu, unexpectedly emerges from behind, expressing a desire to encounter a Goa'uld. O'Neill instructs him to return home. On the other side, Shaka stumbles upon one of Apophis's guards and tells him about the Nox, while Teal'c and O'Neill look at him from a distance. O'Neill tries to convince Antaeus of the impending threat, but he refuses to do anything to defend themselves. At once, Ofer arrives and tells Antaeus that Nefreu has not returned home. Hearing this, the Nox leaves to find Nefreu, who's crossed path with Apophis and is killed by him on the spot. During their search, Antaeus says he told O'Neill to do the same, and that the very young do not always do as they're told. Soon, they find Nefreu lying dead on the ground. They take him with them to bring him back to life. When they're about to start the healing ceremony, O'Neill warns them of the danger, but they refuse to take any help from them. O'Neill gets angry and leaves, asking his team to follow him. When the team leaves, the Nox starts the healing ritual to revive Nefreu. SG-1 devises a plan to attack Apophis once again. This time, they exploit a weakness in his defense system. They discover that a slow-moving object, such as a staff weapon or an arrow, can easily pass through the field while deflecting faster projectiles like bullets and staff weapon blasts. With the Jaffa guards neutralized, O'Neill finds himself face to face with Apophis, armed only with his trusty bow and arrow. Just as the arrow is about to strike Apophis, the Nox intervenes and makes him vanish. SG-1 arrives at the location of the Stargate, where they are warmly welcomed by Antaeus and Nefreu, who expresses their desire to say goodbye. The Nox bring forth the reappearance of the Stargate, vowing to conceal it once their visitors depart. O'Neill protests, warning of the immediate return of the Goa'uld in their formidable spacecraft, poised to unleash destruction upon them. Antaeus proceeds to unveil the magnificent floating city, leaving SG-1 in awe. This revelation showcases the true extent of their advanced civilization, shattering any preconceived notions of their primitive facade. Antaeus expresses a longing for the humans to realize that an alternative path exists. Once they vanish, the team is filled with regret as they reflect on their failure to heed the Nox's warning. They realize the Nox's departure is final, and they will never have the chance to see them again. O'Neill shares that numerous valuable lessons were acquired and proved worthwhile to bring back to Earth.